Hello.
What's up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, give me just a second.
I'll just check.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, like your channel name. I'm just writing it in that. I'll check. I'll do some research real quick.
Gotcha. My camera's acting weird. Let me just give me just a second.
Yeah, no rush.
I'm not like I know I'm like I probably have the reputation of a debate guy, but I don't do it enough, so I don't know how to do all this goddamn Discord stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. So let's see. Turn off camera, turn on camera. There we go. That should be bam. Here we go. Cool. Awesome.
Sweet. I see you, but you're delayed. The audio's delayed by 2 seconds.
Okay. Let me.
It's not a huge deal.
Gotcha. Is it like horrible? I think I can probably fix it. Just give me a sec.
I think it's good. It looks better now. It might have just been loading. I don't know. I'll just see if the chat is mad and adjust accordingly.
Okay. There we go. Hello again, chat. All right. Yeah, if your chat's not mad, what's up, man? How you doing? Finally talking face to face.
Yeah, finally confronting you about your comments about my dildo sales.
I didn't want to be the one to bring it up.
I'm glad you did. No, I mean, at the time I commented. I don't know if you remember, but I was like, you're like, this guy looks like he's going through some shit, and I was like, I am, man. That's real, and I'm glad you're just being straight up and saying something about it, because it was a really bad time, and I needed to fulfill a sponsor, and I still sell them. I sold one 3 months ago, because it's just like I think it wasn't a dildo, it was like a fleshlight, so a little bit of different. It's insane, but no, I thought that was a funny way to get introduced to someone, and also liking the stream. Like, I watched it and was like, oh yeah, this dude's cool. Seems cool.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. No, it was yeah, I was getting ready to roast you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was getting used to stuff. That was like my third month of streaming or something. And I'm like, I don't know. I've been watching a bunch of these other dildos, you know, Vosh and all these other guys. And like, dude, Noah Samsen's no good and all that. And I'm like, well, I got to react to his stuff. And when you're not, I think this is a big thing. When you stop just listening to content and you actually have to interact with it, and it's like, well, this is actually going to be me talking to this guy. You kind of have to like step back and like, well, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I did. And I was like, I don't think he's doing bad content intentionally. He just looks like he's stuck. Like, I don't like this kind of content I'm making. I got to fulfill ads, which I know about. I was in podcasting before I did this, and they're like, dude, you said April 18th. April 18th is the date. You know, you gotta run this and make sure that it gets up to the amount of views and stuff. And I was like,
no matter how ass it is.
Yeah. Pity this poor dildo salesman. And then I'm happy with the way that your content changed. I think this is a great change. Like, you kind of like went away, it felt like, for a second, and then you came back hot on the Palestine stuff, and I was like, people are like, oh, you're gonna roast him and shit? I'm like, no, he's talking about what's happening. He seems engaged with the content. He's on it. So like, yeah, no notes. You know what I mean?
Oh, I appreciate you saying that, man. Yeah, it's I feel like you're someone who was involved, if I'm remembering correctly, you're like a journalist before making content.
Yeah. It's been a long time, about 10 years now, but I was like a daily news journalist, not like a CNN anchor type. I wasn't on TV. I was a dildo walking around with a fucking literal notepad and a camera taking pictures and stuff.
I guess I bring that up because it's like a lot of people, when they start their lives online, or like start their career doing whatever sort of, like, whether it's Twitter or YouTube, it becomes hard to like unplug from that ecosystem of how you think and how you make things based on what you see. And just making slop over and over again was like, this is just what I'm supposed to be doing. Why would I do anything else, even though it feels like it sucks? And then eventually being like, wait, actually, this is the worst thing ever. I need to go out in the real world for a little bit and talk to someone. And I moved back in with family, and like lived in my mom's basement and just straight up was like hanging out with friends and hanging with my family, being like, I should be normal for a little bit and then find something that feels like it means something. And yeah, I don't know, that when I talk to people that are like, I don't know, somebody like FD that's like has kids and like has done stuff for years and years before coming on YouTube, I'm always like, oh yeah, like if I contrast this with myself or any other person that's like, you know, my age that got into content and got really big during COVID and like nobody really all kind of doing the same thing, it's like, I don't know, feels bad after a while, to the point where, yeah, I don't know, I started, you know, looking
No.
for different stuff to do.
You get stuck in a rut. And, you know, I think that's a very common thing online, because a job is a job. You know, you do have to get up, you do have to do it. My chat will make fun of me because I take time off because I got to do a bunch of home, like literally home renovation shit so that my house doesn't collapse into a pit. But there's the other aspect of, it's also you. You know what I mean? So you make your video and you're like, I have my opinions. Fuck this guy. Fuck that motherfucker. Blah, 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 blah. Here's a dildo. Take 2-for-1 deal. And then you have to sit there and you have to put it together. And you're like, damn, this is me. Damn, this is me. Fucking 20 minutes of this, cutting it out. Like, is this the guy I want to be? Do I like myself? Do I want to do this again and again and again? And I think your direction was good. Some other people are like, no, fuck it, man. I'm a slop tuber. But I think other folks, and I won't name names, if you look at my content back then, I started noticing it, and I was saying the same thing too. And it seemed especially like COVID era video essayist people who are like, man, I'm fucking pissed off. Black Lives Matter is popping off. George Floyd protests. I'm talking about fuck Donald Trump. And then, you know, crabs, hey, Joe Biden won, and the apocalypse has been pushed back 4 years for white America. And then you're like, damn, 3 years on, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, this is killing me. Like, do I really want to do another half-hour video? I'll get all the money I need, but like, talk about Andrew Tate this, Andrew Tate. And like, I feel for that. You know what I mean? I've been there. I would still be doing daily news if I wanted to do it, but eventually you get like, oh, I'm tired out. And then the conflict on top of it, I think, can like get in you, you know?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Being wired not only to produce a type of video, but like have a type of response to something you see, like literally in your mind based on your identity or how you view yourself. Like, oh, I'm watching this thing this guy said, and I'm actually, the way that my brain functions is altered by my job and the other people that also do my job. And that's pretty freakish. That's probably not a good thing, that it's actually changing my like emotional reactions or whatever. What I was gonna ask is how, when you switch careers up, like how did that happen?
Man, that's a hell of a story. Yeah, I was a daily newspaper guy working like the stupidest places. I swear, I graduated college in like 2013. I was working in Williston, North Dakota after that, covering the Bakken oil boom, writing about fracking and the nightmare lifestyles of people that went to go work on those oil rigs. If you were out there in the man camps, shout out. I was the one talking about y'all shooting each other all the damn time. Went from there to Charleston, West Virginia, where I met my eventual wife, covering more hydrocarbon industry stuff. Coal is out there, and, you know, Charleston's going through what it was. And then that's kind of what I noticed. Every newspaper I worked for was starting to fall apart. That newspaper fell apart within 6 months of me getting there. I was one of those, like, we're going to hire people to look like financially good. And I was one of the financially good hires. And so they're just like, hey, you guys have to reapply for your job. Like, I applied for this job in this literal calendar year. I'm going to die if I have to do it again and stay here. And so, basically me and my wife started dating while we were there. It was really short, but I was just like, hey, how about whichever one of us gets a job first, we'll follow the other one. And she did, because she did not just get another job. I followed her to Virginia Beach, not Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads, which is in Virginia, north of Virginia Beach. And ended up working at a newspaper there. That newspaper is also gone. And then she got a job at Gannett in Louisville, Kentucky after that. And I just said, fuck news after that point. Like 2015, 2016, it's like all these newspapers are shut down. almost every single person I graduated with, I would say like 30% of them are actually still in it. Everybody else is just like, I'm going to go work in a machine shop. I'm going to go retrain. Daily News is shut down. She's out of it. My wife's out of it now too. And it kills her because it's all she wanted to do. But, you know, she was working for Gannett, which not a name that probably anybody know, but they're a conglomerate that owns about 40-50% of the entirety of the newspapers in America. USA Today, the USA Today Network, all that is Gannett, Gannett. And they refuse to give people raises. They union crush, and it's just like, man, fuck this. Because it's for a journalism paycheck too, which is like $14-15 an hour max. You know, you're not going to get paid a lot. You do it for love of the game, and it's just like, fuck that, man. I'm out. So I started writing stuff. I did podcasts, and then I did that for a few years. I worked for a fucking sociopath for like 2 seconds, making one of the worst podcasts of all time. I'm not going to get into that. Bonus story. Subscribe to me on YouTube, and maybe I'll tell that story at some point.
Oh yeah,
but
you sold it. It's compelling. I want to hear it, but
eventually,
they'll go find it. Yeah.
I started streaming, and then I made fun of you, and now I'm here because I made fun of other people as well, more aggressively.
Yes. Yeah, that's, I guess, an interesting kind of position or persona. I mean, it might just be the way you are as a person in real life, but online being like a more confrontational type of. Would you call yourself a leftist, or like someone that's of the leftist aversion?
Very leftist. People don't pick it up about me because my head's square shaped. You know what I mean? I'm older.
Richard
you're
Spencer
like
a little bit.
Yeah, you're like mid-20s or something. I'm 37. I was in the Marines and stuff. I actually am like this in real life, but only to people that are dickheads. It just happens to be that content creators online happen to be like, 80% dickhead, especially when you start arguing, across barriers and stuff. And one of the reasons I got into this is I was sick of people. I was like, I'm fucking irritated. You know what I mean? It was actually a Xander Hall opinion on some fucking like a movie or something. It doesn't matter. It was a pop culture thing. And I was like, why the fuck does he have 100K subs? And like, he said stupid shit. So I hopped on there and I was like, you know what? I'll do this for, I don't know, a couple weeks. I'll just try to pretend like it's a real job. It's what I normally do with something like that. 4 days a week. I'll stream 4 hours a day, 4 hours a night at the time, and see if anything happens. And it popped off a bit. And then I've been starting fights and I think winning all of them so far. Or, actually kind of hopefully having a good impact on people as well.
Who you been fighting with? I saw some of the loner box debate. That was someone being treated how they deserve to be treated, which is just spit in the face of through Discord. Like I like that for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know these people. I listen to people's content, and this is probably a thing that it would make sense to you. If you're in the audience, you kind of might not get it because people are like, you're from this community. I'm not from anybody's community. I was listening to this stuff while I was doing like drywall work in my house, you know what I mean? Kind of in the background, and it's like Philosophy Tube, Forgotten Weapons, Noah Samsen, Vosh getting mad about something, Thought Slime, all of it, you know what I mean? A gigantic mix. And then like I get online, I have to start focusing on this stuff, and I'm like, well, I'll give everybody their due. Same to you, you know what I mean? And like I was like Lonerbox, Destiny, whatever. I don't know anything about them. So if you were like, you should have known, dude, I just have a life outside of it, so I didn't know until I knew. And it wasn't really until the Loner Box debate, and I was actually rewatching a chunk of it, where I was like, I think that really flipped me on the Israel-Palestine thing, was talking to him. Because people were like, why are you still on that afterwards? Like, I legitimately didn't think the guy was a sociopath, clout hog, until I talked to him. Because I was like, well, you guys are just fucking stupid. And you don't understand how dumb the thing is that you're saying. Because, like, I'm not a general fucking high-level guy. Dumb fuck, E3, fucking terminal fucking Lance Corporal in the United States Marine Corps, out, you know what I mean? But there's fundamental basics of like counterinsurgency and like what you do and don't do in warfare that you have to know when you make like decisions on if somebody did good or bad. It's like you played football, I think, right? Or something. I remember you're some sort of sport. If you had somebody telling you like, no, that's not a first down. And you're like, no, this is the first down line. When you cross it, you get a first down because he crossed it. And they're like, no, that's not a first down. You see, he fell at the 45-yard line. And 3 years ago, someone else fell at the 45-yard line. And that wasn't a first down. It was actually a third down. You're like, no, idiot. It's just, if you cross that, it's always the same thing. And I'm like losing my mind while I'm talking to this dude. And the stakes are a little higher than being wrong about fundamentals of football. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And I'm getting pissed. I'm like, I think you actually like dead kids. It's not, I wasn't prepped for that. I was irritated by something he'd said earlier in the day. And I think it was the pager attacks, where it was like, does Israel have the right to defend itself and all this stuff? Like, it's a state. Given by who? What's the Supreme Court of Earth says that you have this right to do? What the fuck even is that? States just do whatever the fuck they do. America just does whatever the fuck it wants to do. Are you asking for American permission? And like, this was the whole thing. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? And I'm like, I think that your whole premise is stupid. And if you are saying these things, you're actually just defending war crimes, like raw, which you shouldn't do, even if you're on that side, because you're not going to accomplish anything. Like, in a callous way, you're just going to make people upset. So you have to be like pro-dead kid to have these standpoints, which is a psychotic thing to say. You don't really believe that, do you? And like, if old crooked head fucking Lonerbox does, like, he likes that shit. That's the only conclusion I can get to. Or he cares
Why do you think
so little. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, like, yeah, just you said like just are they stupid, or are they beholden to some, like, for some reason acting irrationally? And I mean, my view of someone like that is the way content works. Being an orbiter makes you act however fucking crazy your central, the planet you're orbiting is. And his planet is obviously Destiny on this issue, especially that they're psychopaths.
I would say that Lonerbox orbits the D.
Bounces on it. Yeah.
He does indeed. Probably literally. Yeah. I can see that. People being hyper dedicated to structures. I think a lot of times you can see in the way that criticisms are framed from certain communities, kind of like what their actual concerns with their own behavior are, especially if it's something that's like kind of outlandish. Like, what do you mean talking about audience? Your audience captured. I'm like, I got fucking 500 people that watch me at the absolute max. Like, if I don't know these people, I'm not captured by anybody. And then you kind of look at them, and it's like, oh, you can't step away. You have to like really toe the line and stuff. And I've been looking into some other stuff, and I feel like people just don't double check motherfuckers. Like, you hate somebody's content, you don't watch it. But like, and this is something I would urge you to do if you're a viewer of these things and you're like irritated by these people, go watch their content and take notes and get clips, and then just be like, hey, this guy said this thing. Because I've been doing that and putting things together, and you start noticing that, like, yeah, the Nick Diorio sphere is actually just legitimately a fucking subsection of the DGG thing. And DGG is connected to Progressive Victory, which, if you like it or hate it, is what it is. But Progressive Victory is attached to Brianna Wu, and it recently came out in a drunken, accidental statement by a person named Beckett, Copenseed, whatever, that he was getting paid by Brianna Wu to put out hit pieces on leftists from like a lefty siding, and like he takes money to put out hit pieces on people. So there's a for-profit slander market on YouTube that is completely filled with fake, we don't know each other type individuals who are all completely connected. Like, I don't know you very well, and like, this is our first time talking, but like, these guys, you're like, they don't have any contact publicly, but all of a sudden, like, you're getting called up by this person, they're in Discord with you already, they're instantaneously popping into shows over and over again. Like, if you see Dan Saltman do the rounds in the immediate wake of Destiny, his the January 20th videos and that whole thing, he's everywhere instantly. He's talking to Turkey Tom. He's talking to the people that are around him. Diorio's fucking trying to do a bunch of stuff, putting out all these fires and shit. And then we go down a couple months later, and Ela Klein's favorite person is Nick Diorio, Saint Nick, the dude who does Ultimate Rape Review. And it's like, this is obvious. And by Beckett from Copenseed is one of Nick Diorio's main researchers who was putting out these stuff and working for Brianna Wu for money. So it's like, I don't know this is a very obvious for-profit propaganda scheme happening right in front of our fucking eyes. at the deficit of dead kids, and it's the most open non-secret ever, and just no one's noticing it. And like every time I talk about it, there's people I brought up to like, I think that this is happening. They're like, you're crazy. You're a crazy person. That's an insane thing. What, somebody would be paying to like do propaganda on YouTube? And then
No way.
you look 2 seconds deeper, like, oh, you're on the fucking payroll too? Like, what in the fuck what is this? Like, God damn it. People say it, you know, how do none of these people have jobs? How are they making this kind of money with these non-existent audiences? And it's like, they're part of a paid propaganda scheme from these, you know, foreign actors that are trying to get certain types of mentalities passed. And they're trying to prey upon the pre-existing prejudices, the racism, the bigotry of these center-right, pseudo-libertarian, libertine crowds that kind of fill up the largesse of this DGG greater orbiter sphere. So you're right, yeah. If they step out of line, they're not going to get fucking money anymore. They're gonna stop getting bot farmed comments. You're gonna stop seeing the John Jacobs 0203 popping up. I don't know. Kind of owned you, little bro. Wow, owned. Wow, owned. Like, you guys, we say on my thing, like, you guys are glowing in the dark. I can see you. I can see this bot farm bullshit that you guys are paying for. It's fucking weird. If I sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, I'm sorry, but like, that's
You
my
totally
thing.
do, but I mean, I know you're right. That's the thing, is you're right and you sound crazy, but a lot of us are unable to, I guess, look at specific examples. Or, I mean, that's what I want to know is like, what drives you to look further into this stuff? Like, is it just how crazy it is, or is there a like you're trying to get to the bottom of it kind of feeling? Is that your journalist instinct, or?
Sort of. I always want to know. I don't like bullies, and I don't like liars that lie to bully. You know what? It's slanderers, sort of thing. And if somebody's like trying to trick me, I want to see what's going on. Like, I want to reveal the magic secret and stuff. And more, the second I started paying attention to it, the fact that like these very obvious things were happening. What one that I noticed, and I've stepped to, basically I was a nobody. I mean, maybe 100 people in my concurrence, and all of a sudden I got like greased up, like Oilers. Like, hey man, you're awesome. Your content's great, and I'm old enough that I don't need that money, right? I have ways of existing outside of YouTube. I'm set. I'm solid. You know what I mean? And like, I can say no to money. So I'm like, where did you come from? And then all of a sudden he was like, hey, could you just like change your opinion on this? Like, hey, you kind of came in a little hot. What if you just said this? What if you just did that? What if you like just didn't talk about this
Like,
person?
talking about who? Like, just
actually,
the
specifically, it was
DGG?
Vosh at the time.
Oh,
It was
shit.
cool off on Vosh. And then I found out, like, in that thing that dude was talking about, when he got paid by Brianna Wu, it was like $500 as a super chat. So you kind of just like launder the money, launder the payment you pay after the fact. Hey, as long as you cover this, man, you're gonna get that money. And I think a lot of smaller streamers and stuff, and this is just a cancer in the streaming area, they start getting those juicer payments, and all of a sudden they're just like, you know what? I don't know, man. I see chat says that this is kind of cringe. Good Hutch. Hutch is fucking shameless. Hutch will say literally nothing other than like, wow. Fuck, dude. Israel is good. What are they talking about? Hamas are terrorists. And like, that's it over a 2 fucking hour long video. And he gets like 500 fucking subs. Dead channel with like fucking 100, 500 people watching it. Like, this doesn't make sense. How is somebody buying you that many fucking subs? You don't have that many people in there. You know what I mean? Like, I have my own fucking like big dono people and shit, but they hang out in my community. I see them around, and they're like, I'm not going to give you subs if nobody can get the gifted sub. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, like, you're just getting juiced for doing nothing. It's very, very fucking suspicious. And it's like, I know you're not getting it for the content. People are paying you to say a thing, not to be you. And it's just so on the fucking surface and so on the nose. And I don't like that kind of manipulation. It screams to me of breaking the fucking rules. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to certain things. Progressive Victory was really weird about having streamers basically advertise for a political cause, which you can't do for pay without announcing it, and especially overseas. There's all sorts of rules. Don't take money to talk about a politician, streamers. don't do it without double checking with your lawyer, because if the FEC wants to go and slap you in the fucking head with it, you know, they might. The Federal Election Commission. You can get pretty serious fines, but because YouTube's the Wild West, I think a lot of people are going, you know, around the side. I'm sorry. I'm starting to get into like campaign finance. I don't know where I'm supposed to be talking about.
I mean, this is so interesting to me because all of this is coming from the opposite perspective, or like the undergirding structures of a place that I know very well. When I hear Brianna Wu's name, my eye twitches because I'm like, that lady sucks so bad and is such a freak, and I don't understand. I understand it. She's probably being paid by somebody, but I don't know really the details. And I'm also like, if she's getting paid, are they really going that far down into just like random, like you're saying, like 500 viewer, like YouTube people? And it feels so insane, but it's also not insane because we know how, I guess, much, how, I don't know. I didn't know because it's fascinating to me, honestly.
Yeah, well,
just
I mean,
the lengths they're going.
It sounds intense until you realize it's manufactured consent, manufactured, you know, agreement. The point of astroturfing something is to, yes, fill, we'll say, a stadium with fake grass. All right, that's kind of the thing. You have grassroots movements and you have astroturfing. Astroturfing pretends it's grass, but you build the astroturf one blade at a time. Those tiny little blades are how you do it. You buy bot farms. You get 20 little tiny guys to go and say the same thing at once to their audiences of 200, 300, 400 concurrents. And then it looks like everyone's saying the same thing. You know, I don't know if you saw this. Everyone's saying this. Well, have you even looked at your comment section? Your comment section's kind of against you with this one, bro. Maybe you should catch up a little bit, little bro. And then those guys say, like, you know, the next person up, you have your Nick Diorio, you have your Turkey Tom, Mudahar, whoever's in that 250 to like a million space. So I guess between that, you have like Chud. Shut up, Chud Logic, you piece of shit. Those guys say like, oh wow, this is fucking crazy. Look at this. Everyone's talking about it. It's getting big. Oh my God, it's everywhere. Who are these people talking about? And then that goes up to the Mudahars and it goes all the way up to the top. And then you just pay $5,000 or $6,000 and you can create an entire news cycle. You can try to destroy a YouTuber. You can make a YouTuber the worst person in the history of mankind with basically an investment that's a sneeze to a rich person. A political action committee will piss $5,000 away. That's a single plate at a donor's dinner. You know what I mean? Do that in 6 or 7 places. And then all of a sudden you have a false consensus, a fake narrative. Oh shit. Did you guys know that like actually Israel's the fucking good guy here? They're being victimized. I don't know if you've seen this on H3H3 podcast, but I was watching my favorite streamer, Jilly Bob. He's a fucking racist VTuber. I don't know why he's following H3H3, but 200 subs, man. He's talking about Hassan's a piece of shit. And then he got covered by Grease 10. And this guy says, you know, he's a little bit bigger. He says Hassan is a piece of shit. And he doesn't like this guy's coverage, but he thinks it's an important story to tell. And then that goes up and bump. And all of a sudden you're literally, it's AstroTurf. You're walking on fake grass and it feels real from a distance, but until you touch it, you're like, it's fucking plastic. Because I saw that with the Hassan Ethan thing, when there was reactions to it, I had fuckloads of bot looking accounts with no face in it. You know, all the account ages are from 2016 for some reason, that election. Or, you know, they're all in an election year and they are just no faces. It'll be John 2090, Gems 1063. And you're like, oh, okay. And then when you look at the people talking about Hassan's side of it, it's a bunch of different like TikTokers and shit. I loved H3H3, but now this seems crazy now. And you can still find people that are talking about it with the organic reactions of people that have faces and their names out there. That's like, oh, you're a guy. You're a guy on the internet. You're a girl on the internet. They, them, be on the fucking internet. You're saying a thing right now, which is so much more valuable than all these VTubers. Oh, it's a VTube agency with 72 VTubers. All these VTubers fucking love Asmongold. Oh, people I can't see their face. All their voices are fucking going through AI. How many of them is the same 8 fucking people in some like trailer out in the middle of who the fuck knows where, just saying, man, Asmongold, I've always wanted to see a guy that smells like dead rats just fucking own the libs. Jesus Christ, is fucking amazing. Like, no, you're out of your mind. I can see it. I can fuck. This is horse shit. This is fucking horse shit. And it just drives me crazy that people are getting away with it. And there's money in telling people that it's bullshit and then proving it, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I know if as a smaller creator, if I were to have experienced the wrath, and I did in some sense, but not to the extent that it sounds like it's. I guess the system has been built up now. The wrath of this community and this interwoven web of like everything from YouTubers to streamers to Twitter. The Twitter community is the one that gets most annoying. I get recommended those tweets all the time. It's like the laughing emoji thing.
Oh, I thought that was yeet.
Oh yeah, it's like Yeet. The at is Yeet and the name is Awk or something,
Okay.
something like that. But yeah, just like I'm like, oh, if they would have come after me when I just started or when I was smaller and I was trying to like say anything edgewise about any of these people, it would have probably fucked me up just because you're not used to it, and that's probably the goal. But I guess
Oh
the
yeah.
more people have their attention drawn to that and the way the system works, the better it is. Like the better it is to combat it, because
No,
it's
no,
just fucked up.
you're on it. You talking about the loaner box debate earlier. When I did that, that was love of the game for me, right? I lost subs over it. I think I had DGG people probably. They were like, "Oh my god, you were mean to my Lebanese hero from loaner box." They fucking bailed out or whatever the fuck. And I just got like roasted by these fucking bot commenters again and again and again. You're just like, wow, you're losing your mind. You're going crazy. He's turning red. Are you on drugs? Da, da, da. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, bro. You're a fucking dude on the internet. Yeah, I get hit in the face for my opinion in real life. You got to amp your shit up. And then eventually it got discovered by the H3 leftovers folks or whatever, like, I don't know, a month or so ago. And then I got positive comments on it. But if you look back if you sort by when that debate came out, it was crazy, right? It was like a big like a gigantic deluge of just like the same thing. Wow, little bro, can't believe you won that one. Did I? And to say that, yeah, that's probably happening to other people who would give a shit. Sorry, I'm leaning away. I drank too much ale late. I'm trying not to burp into the mic like an animal. But yeah, I can imagine that people are getting like, psychologically annihilated by that. Because if you've never had someone tell you to go fuck yourself before, it could be pretty extreme, even if it's just on the internet. And if you've been having a good time, like, oh, hey, my red dots are here. And so I say, you get your little red dots. Oh, I'm going to click my notifications. Hey, man, I love you. Great video, bro. Keep it up. Oh, look, I got a little $5 dono. Oh, super thanks, man. I wish more people talked like this. And then you have your one moment where people don't like you. And it's just like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but maybe you should fucking neck, bro. It's probably you should be dead. I don't know why you don't hate yourself more. You should apologize to Loaderbox. You should delete your video. Whatever the fuck. And I'm like I said, I'm almost 40. I'm past the point of caring. My bullies were from the 2000s, and they're all old, fat, and or dead at this point. I'm not fucking tolerating any horse shit from YouTube comment section assholes. But like, yeah, I can see like if you're 19-year-old, like, I just really want to make my opinions known. 25 even, and all of a sudden these people are threatening your job, your lifestyle, your career, trying to call you. Yeah, it's a bully enterprise, and people are paying for these harassment campaigns. They're paying for these libelous, slanderous fucking hit pieces. And there's a market in it for these creators who are generally untalented, but more so to the point unscrupulous, to take advantage of that and start basically sludge slinging for cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You went over the Vosh Professor Flowers thing like a few weeks ago, and that was my first big foray into this type of thing, and that was my first experience. Like you're saying, like YouTube was going great. I was growing a lot. I was like, I made a video where I interwove a lot of the fandoms of BreadTube, and I was like, everyone loves me because I love their favorite creators. Like, this is so solidarity. And then, the next month when I made this video, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. You're, Vosh is the god. You fucked up. Like, this lady wants to kill you and all white people. Like, how can you defend this? You're a genocidal. And it's like, okay, what's happening here? Like, did I fuck up? I don't really actually know. This many people saying this to me, maybe that means something. Maybe I should like look into this. And my initial reaction was like, did I fuck up here? And then I went and talked to him, and I was kind of like trying to be like, yeah, I might have fucked up in the way I talked about it. And that was it. It's over when you go in a debate doing that. And I don't know, like that fucked me up for a while. But I'm curious, like, where you think it's coming from, like at the top. Or I mean, I don't know if you've got there or have like what's the word, like hypotheses about from Brianna Wu and up in terms of like how deliberate is it to maintain some form of status quo on YouTube or on Twitter or on
like
TikTok.
where's the hierarchies located? Like where's the head of the Hydra? I think you can't quite look at it that way. I think this is a thing that, the AstroTurf is down. It's established. You can't quite prevent it at this point because it's part of the makeup of stuff. So the good thing for if you're on that side and you're trying to do this thing, eventually what you'll find is that people will start replicating your talking points just because they think there's money in it. You know what I mean? They'll build naturally. Sorry, man. God damn it. They'll build platforms and they'll build dispositions and standpoints that naturally mirror all of the rest of this stuff. And then they'll start organically doing it on their own. And so, you have the people that are kind of paying for stuff, that are trying to direct it, going one way, going another way. And then you'll have people that are naturally, organically coming out of, the woodwork who are just like, no, I'm just legitimately a fucking racist. I just fucking hate these motherfuckers. And like that person will become part of the atmosphere. I think that there's a lot to look at with the DGG Progressive Victory Brianna Wu connection. Anytime I see a political action committee paying people to do stuff, that's why I went to Progressive Victory's Cincinnati thing. It was right above me. I went, I looked and saw what was going on. I saw Stardust there. I met Connor Points. He's the one that suggested I go. And if it had just been like a, hey, like, go out and knock on doors thing, that would have been dope. And on the ground, that's what it felt like at the time. And that's sufficient. But there are some like holes. They're like, why is Lonerbox here? Because Lonerbox is not American. So is Lonerbox being paid to come in from, the UK or whatever to talk about American politics? And then if you go down the line a little bit with Progressive Victory, you have the debacle with Vosh and, J-Reg, Dreg, however you're supposed to say that. And Dreg's fucking Canadian. So like he should not be being paid to come to America to talk about American politics. And I extend that very much, even more strongly towards people in other countries. I should not be paid money from the citizens of the United Kingdom to come to like the United Kingdom and start talking to you guys about, I don't know, liberal government sounds fucking great to me. You guys should vote this coming summer, whatever you have, parliament, something. You know what I mean? And so they didn't go away. They're back again. I just got an email about this because I'm on the mailing list. But Progressive Victory has changed to Win the Fight, I think. And then all of a sudden it's a bunch of like, oh, I know these guys. Like they're like, Cory Booker is going to be coming and talking to streamers, It's like, well, that's dubious. You know what I mean? And yeah. They're all related to these things and it's sideways. And I think that there is the guy that started Progressive Victory is like, yeah, we want to use political money in order to fund streamers to say the right thing and support the right kind of causes, which could be completely benevolent, but I've never seen a political dollar spent for opinion that shouldn't be looked at twice, right? They all come with stink on them, as a friend of mine would say. And I think that there's a lot of scrutiny and attention that should be paid to these organizations, and you got to make sure that the people that are even scrutinizing them are not on the payroll, because you look like, oh, okay, so it's this guy, he hates this person. But then you look into that person, it's like, oh, he's directly connected to the person that got paid by that person. It's like, oh, so your criticisms, which is one of the things that happened with the Lonerbox. People were like, oh, Tyler actually provides a bad criticism. Some people might have liked that, but actually he's worse for Palestine than anybody else. If I was a Palestinian, I would hate to have Tyler arguing with Lonerbox on my fucking behalf. I'm like, do you fucking talk to those people? How would you know? And so you're like, oh, fuck. The fucking opposition is controlled. We are the controlled opposition over here. Like these fucking guys, they're trying to step past me in order to say, well, don't listen to these people. Listen to us. You like, look at you. I looked back at the fucking Professor Flowers debate. I was completely wrong on it at the time. And Vosh is arguing pro-Israel talking points. The entire Professor Flowers debate is, hey, If there's a fucking whole ethnicity comes from another place and they fucking boot us out, do we have the right to engage in violent action against that ethnicity to retake what's rightfully ours? Do you have the right to repel an invasion that's based on racial lines because they drew a racial line and fucking invaded you? And they say no, which is one of the primary.
No, that's genocide.
Yeah, it's a fundamental argument that Israelis use to justify the aggression in Gaza and stuff, and staying there and doing all the settling and all this shit. I'm like, what? Boy, it all just click in place. And shout out Bennett Bernardo, that piece of shit. He was on it. He was on it, despite his shortcomings.
Yeah,
he was on it.
That's what I always tell people. He's always been most of the time right, and that's why it's the ecosystem around. I guess how people talked about him. You know, if you look back into it, it's pretty much that guy Vosh and that community that created a lot of things about him that turned him into this boogeyman. But then you go back to watch the videos about stuff. I mean, the pedophile predictions and the documents that he put together, which were pretty good. But then even further back, just the principled content about Palestine, and then relating that to like anti-imperial, anti-colonial politics with like Professor Flowers. It's like he's right. It's just we got to do some work laundering his image. Like he says, he's in the chat. Thanks for mainstreaming me. This makes you complicit in my crimes. Yeah, we're going down with you, man.
Yeah.
We're roommates now, so it's all good.
And I don't even think
do the dishes.
Kind of on that is a good point. I don't even think you need to launder his image or even like a person like mine's image. I think it's sufficient to have a true diversity of tactics and stand on principles first, right? Because that's where I see a lot of the division coming from. Is people are like, man, I wish you were nicer. Like, you know, I wish you were more like this. I wish you were more like that and stuff. But it's like, but fundamentally, principally, are we correct? Because I'm going to appeal to certain types of people, and I'm going to be able to kick the fucking legs out of other types of people that, you know, you can't approach, or you wouldn't be able to do that. And you can go into areas and talk to people and kind of make points and build bridges that I can't build. And that's the point of socialism. That's the value of leftist movements, is diversity of people, diversity of tactics, and the effectiveness of organizing. You know what I mean? Like to each his own. I fucking misquoted that. Somebody kicked me.
Yeah, that's whatever. Close enough, Marks.
Something needs in
From
German.
Each according to that shit they were trying to do. You got it.
It's in a fucking boy. I don't know. But
yeah,
I think that's a lot of, there's a lot of value there. I think it's okay to just be like, no, he's a bad guy. But he's our bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, watch out. I'm not gonna fucking stop him. If he wants to go fuck with your shit, he's gonna fuck with your shit. He'd be mean to me. I don't give a fuck. It's we gotta stand on your principles and stuff. If you start letting like little bits of fucking like untoward language and stuff get to you, you know what I mean? And that destroys the movement for you. The movement was already gonna fall apart. Which is like, that is that like Vosh section, the DGG section, which is this hyperfixation on optics and personalities and relationships between people. Like one of my first, like the threads are unraveling with Vosh was, you know, you called like Anna Kasparian a bitch and stuff. And I won't judge you necessarily for that, but you did let that bridge die on some weird principle of being like, no, but I should be able to insult somebody. You say you're an asshole. You know, you say you're an asshole on my bed. You know what I mean? But instead it's like, nope, fortress. A fortress is just a fucking island where every bridge has been burnt. You know what I mean? And like, that's what I see is these guys just, cooking these connections and then only tolerating sycophantism. And I just want to break that up. And, you know, like that has to get knocked to pieces so that normal creators can flourish again. That's all I want. You know what I mean? It's like, Tyler, what if they turn on you one day? If they turn on me and they have the principles I have and I didn't live up to them, then good riddance to me. Bye, Tyler. You know what I mean? Eventually I'm going to die anyway. You know what I mean? We can't have like solitary singular people running movements and relying on them and having every tether attached to that individual. We've got to have a lot of different people doing a lot of different things in order to make these things work. I'm sorry, I'm preaching at this point and talking.
No, it's good. It's helpful. Yeah, I mean, what do you think created that sort of ecosystem where personal relationships and interactions with creators is primary focus and primary importance, and then actual politics and actual principles? You know, when you have someone like Lonerbox laundering aristocracy's Zionist propaganda, the principle of a guy that's supposed to be pro-Palestine is that you don't do blood and soil. Oh, she's another VTuber. That's crazy. What's up with fucking VTubers? But you don't allow them to, you don't defend them, right? but they're friends or they're associated via
Mhm.
content, and so the principles are gone, right? They're not there. But that obviously follows a pattern from historically this space. Where do you think that comes from, like over time initially?
This is gonna be my edgy leftist talking point. That's white supremacy, baby. That's all that is. Old school.
Woke.
Old school. I know it's woke answer, and I'll flip people on this one real quick. When you have everything, you don't ever have to be rude because you got everything. You can't be overreaching when your reach touches the world. And if you look back where all of these preconceptions that you need to be constantly polite and you can't raise your voice and you can't, first off, obviously once you start hearing that, like, oh, you shouldn't be mad in public, you shouldn't be upset, you shouldn't like it, it's like, oh, isn't that the stuff they always saying about black people? Like, yeah, you're on it. It's because when you have everything, you can be polite, and when you make politeness the tippity top of social interaction, oh, that's what's the most important thing. Like, look, he's made some mistakes, but he's never had an unkind word. He treats me very well. You know what I'm saying? Because you have everything. So like, if you start disrupting that, then you will fuck up that network. And all they have to do in order to let people know that you're not in the in-group is you're impolite. You're untoward. You're ungentlemanly. You're loud. You're boisterous. You talk over other people. Oh my God, you're not following the rules that I set up, that you actually can in your mind really think back to where you learned them and why they're so important. And it's like, why is that like bone deep in me? It's because it's part of the fabric of keeping people from rising up. There's nothing more rude than a waiter saying like, why did you just say that to me? You know, hey, can you go get that boy? Like, who the fuck are you talking to? That's rude as hell, right? Oh my, hold on. The customer's always right there. I didn't mean for him to act like that. We would never be that impolite. And this hyperfixation on politeness and preservation of the interlinked bonds of capital that are built between people that have more than other people are all set up in order to keep you from asking for your fair share, from asking for, I want mine. You watch these same people and it's like, what do they say to you if you criticize them? Oh, you're just in for clout. You're just reaching. Oh, you just want money. Like, yeah, I don't want money. Who doesn't want fucking money? I need money to live. I turn money into food. I turn money into gas so I can drive my fucking car. My dog needs money so that he can get his shots and stuff. Of course I need money. Well, you're on the internet. Of course I need clout. It's the fucking point of this. Why are you trying to withhold? Why are all these so-called leftists dragons all of a sudden with their hordes of clout and their hordes of wealth? Oh, well, hold on now. If you go in there, fucking old Vosh Smog, whatever the fuck you call it, you could fuck up the left. If you challenge him and you take from his horde, what will we have? Like, all of our glory is just based on the fucking HP of his fucking lava mound of gold and shit. And it's the same for all these other people. You can't go and attack them. You can't be impolite because
it's infighting.
You're going to break it. It's infighting. You'll break the bonds. They're the only people keeping me safe. I'm going to die. I met my girlfriend because of Vosh. He got me away from the right. Like, dude, average fucks should be getting you away from the right. It should be any person. Just go into a fucking lefty Discord and they'll present you the same arguments he did, but hopefully they won't also try to fuck you. Maybe don't do it on Discord. Apparently the place is really fucking weird. Go to a library. I don't know. You know what I mean? But this is a fundamental thing. Yeah. And I think a lot of it is predicated on old New England style slave owning class ideas of like British politeness and not rocking the boat. That's just been naturally osmosed into these people. And as you get bigger and you start talking to people who are successful and I've been doing this for a while. Look, my dad's dad was an entertainment lawyer. And let me just tell you, like, the things you're doing are amazing, but you got to just let these rude people go. Don't even start a conflict with them. They're not worth your time. Don't talk to them. They're not like you. They're down there. You're up here with me, right? You got to adopt this new way of living. Buy new clothes, buy beautiful glasses, drive wonderful cars, because you're not like them anymore. Yeah, you're like us up here at the top. And I think that happens to people, and it's like a snap, you know what I mean? It's just every fucking coming of age rock star movie where the guy stops playing from his soul and starts doing fucking cocaine and slapping his girl around. You turn into a person because you got a little success. You think you're better than the people who are your equals, because there's none of us are better. I'm a worker. That's it. That's it. I'm a worker. Nothing more, nothing less. I have a platform. I have this for now. If we lost all this and we get socialism based, okay, cool. You know what I mean? But I'm not valuable. I'm not important. I'm only as good right now, and any good thing you're feeling about me should only be as valuable as I am to the movement. You should feel that about every single person that's in, not necessarily you, but like anyone that's out there in your thing. If they're not valuable to the movement, disregard them. Just push them away. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you got to start fucking calling out these people for sitting on their fucking little dragon hordes and then saying they're leftists.
Yeah, I feel like there's a contradiction between thinking about the left or the project you're trying to enact, socialism, whatever, as a thing that is above you and that you are only a part of, you can only ever contribute to. It's not about you. And being a YouTuber or being a streamer, because starting out and trying to do that is you trying to become above others based on you garnering an audience of people. It might not even, it's usually not explicitly about a power dynamic, but that's what an audience is. You are the content provider, they are the content consumer. And I know, like, early on when I was using Twitter a lot, and I would, if I had a tweet go viral, I'd be like, oh, this feels good, I want more of this, because it, like, the red dots, like that's the whole point of this system. And the more you succeed on YouTube, the more, like, I don't know, anyone that's gone super viral and gets super famous on YouTube, a lot of times they end up being psychopaths, or it turns them into psychopaths, and it's very antisocial behavior. And I mean, there's really no one that's that type of success that's ever really, it seems like, being foundationally left politically on YouTube, at least. So I mean, does that make sense? Like, it feels like they're incompatible, but like, that can change potentially if it's talked about, or if it's acknowledged, or if there's people that break that mold, I guess. No,
there's not. There never will be. Don't even pretend. There's no one special. That's like the kind of answer. There's contradictions in this, right? I'm successful, sure, because some people who are leftists, or some people that just like my fuck comedy, whatever, they like me. But I'm rewarded by capitalism. Capital rewards me for using its tools, its methods of production. It gives me money, for which it lets other people, hey, here's my excess labor, baby. Fucking, here's $20 of it. Go do another funny voice. Okay. And the thing is no one is immune to the effects of it. No one is special. No one's above it. And no one's coming to save you, folks at home. None of us are too good for it. None of us are going to be offered that 20 billion and turn it down for the people. No one goes into fucking Mount Doom and holds the fucking ring and is stronger than fucking Falamir, or whatever the fucking dude's name was. Sorry, Lord of the Rings people. You got to have Smeagol's to fucking go push you to fuck in. You know what I'm saying? You got to know. You got to have a crew with you to be like, no, don't slap it out of my hand. I need you to slap it out of my hand when I get there, because it's us. It's us, and it is on you as a viewer, as a watcher, as a reader, as a participant, 100, 200 years down the line, 10 days from now, all that, to be participant in this and not just receptive of it. You know what I mean? If you have somebody you're watching or someone you enjoy, you have to work to make sure that they also stay in line with stuff. And you're going to have to be an asshole too. You know what I mean? You're going to have to say, like, fuck, it's time to fucking... Tyler's done. He got cooked. The dude got over $1 million and his fucking brain got fucking burned out of his head. Damn it. Noah betrayed all of his principles because they finally found the dollar figure, because money's poison. That's what it is. And too much holding on to other people's labor and holding on to it in a time of scarcity and need. You'll start saying, why don't I need it? Why shouldn't it be mine? That's the point of that whole thing. You say, well, I did work for it. And yeah, it's a lot, but it's mine. And yeah, there's people starving, but I need it because I can do this with it. And someone else would just waste it. And I'm different because I'm different. You know what I mean? You're not. You're just another dickhead, just a guy on the internet. Me, you, everybody else. And the viewers have to be the ones, the people have to be the ones to pull down these statues before they grow too large and crush our movements or fill up our embankments and we can't walk past them anymore. That is the point. And I think, yes, you should always understand, none of us are too good to be bought out. None of us are smart enough to not be tricked in every single circumstance. Maybe I talk good, but I have probably some other weakness. You know what I mean? The reason we keep finding out that people that get big end up being these imperfect people is because they were imperfect people. They just happen to have the thing to get there that's rewarded right now by the system. If we were in a different system where capital was just like, fuck, I really want people that can weave like crazy, and then all of a sudden we got famous weavers, you would just be like, damn, god damn it, Martha McWeaver is the most evilest bitch in the history of mankind. She used all that money to just burn orphanages to the ground all the time. Like, yeah, because we're people. That's what you can't. None of us are better. You cannot permit people to go past a certain post, and it's fundamental. It's necessary. That's why, and I hate to break, like, the criticisms against Hassan, he's like a little too wealthy to be a socialist sometimes. You can't fight against that. That's people's natural inclination. Like, how is he not being poisoned by the money? He has to be able to be. And if he's holding on now, time goes on. It's, he's going to have a kid. He gets sick. He gets a little bit more. That big payment comes in. Because it's always just, you can't have one person that's allowed to sit at the table and throw those dice on everybody's behalf. You got to have everyone in there sharing the load, sharing the wealth, sharing the wins. Otherwise, you will naturally select eventually for someone that doesn't give a fuck at all. And they're going to go, well, I'm just going to take it because you can't stop me. And if you leave that door open, that person will find that opportunity and they'll do it. Sorry, that was me going off. I'm sorry.
I was just about to ask you about Hassan, but then you brought him up.
No, go for it.
Thoughts on Hassan in relation to what you were just talking about, in relation to, I guess, the ecosystem of content and how that there can be some form of, I don't know if solidarity is the right word, or exchange of, if he could pay me or pay my legal fees, or if he could, if there's some kind of, if we can build out of being media, individual media producers and content creators into a more collectivist framework, is that even possible under the circumstances of YouTube?
Yeah, I've been pondering it as one does an orb as he approaches his wizarding years, and thinking about Hassan a lot. I'm hypercritical of him because he's my age, and I feel like he can't even hear. Or I feel like he probably is fucking see what Hassan. I give you permission to call people poofies. PUFI. I don't think there's anything Hassan can do to fix any issues I have with Hassan. I think as I think about him more and more and more, most of the issues I have with him are just natural shortcomings of any other person. It just happens to be whatever Hassan is good at and is bad at is just exacerbated by the extreme amount of influence and clout he has. So if I had some other person who was a himbo, but they were like 1,000 top concurrents and they had, a fraction of his wealth, I wouldn't care anywhere near as much. And there's nothing to be gained as we get deeper into this, and I see the value he has as a piece on the fucking board to be moved against somebody the size of Ethan Klein. There's no value in pulling him down. The necessary thing to do is build other people up so that Hassan ceases to rise so high above everyone else. We don't necessarily need to tear him down. We don't have much. We don't have a lot of creators. Hassan is our only nowhere near as big as Asmongold. You know what I mean? And there's a ton of other Asmongold and Asmongold likes out there. The fucking VTuber sphere of racist VTubers is getting ready to pop off. Kirsch and all those motherfuckers. That's going to be a whole big fucking thing. I think Hassan can do a ton of stuff. I think Hassan is doing all of the things that he will probably do. I don't know him personally. As a guy who's watching him, what I would want from a guy like that is I think that he should Highlander his uncle and create the Old Turks or something. I don't know. But I think professionalizing his output significantly for some period of the day, get a studio, have people pass you stuff, just set yourself up less for stumbling blocks, fewer like Twitter tabs. You can get all your info from your friends on Twitter. It's optically just a kick in the shin that you don't need to take. You know what I mean? You're just tape your wrists up.
Chat
better
interactions, maybe.
Chat interactions. I think that's part of the charm. Maybe, maybe not. I think finding a good blend for just some parts of his day between something like what Majority Report does and what he does now, maybe even just to build that up with some other people. Definitely not me. I do not want to do any fucking broadcasts, so nobody even make that fucking assumption. But build something up that other people could go away from. You know, like a generation thing. What do they call that in Silicon Valley or whatever, where somebody pays money to kind of just make people. They did it with AOC, and she's one of our best that we have out there. And you can say that she's flawed and whatever, but trust me, I remember politics in the early 2000s. It was a different game before we had somebody like fucking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez even in that level of politics. It was a completely different game. And I think that's where money should be focused. I would love to see more leftist news outlets. And I would like to see more high-level lefties that will actually divorce themselves, which I know Hassan can't do, from the conflict aspect of internet fights. I think we need some good, strong, well-compensated, anonymous news types. Not necessarily like literally anonymous, but like nobody fucks who put out big stories. I mean, everybody keeps complaining about the paywall on these news sites and these news sources. I think it's time for us to start getting on the other side of that paywall and breaking it down by starting our own thing. And this is something you can do at home, viewers, watchers. Research and writing is not hard. I don't want to do it because I don't want to do it. I like what I do now, but you can, and it won't be too difficult. You know what I mean? And something from somebody like that. That's all I can say is I could find some better way to use your money than you can, which is just a cunt fucking thing to say, but also very socialist. But I don't know. I was really disappointed with Hassan going into the election. After January, he's had a Hassan-essence, and I'm very, very happy with the good things he's doing. And if he does bad things again, I'll say stop doing the bad things. And all the while, he will ignore me, and his audience that comes into my comment section will say, he didn't notice, little bro. Little bro, shush. He didn't notice, little bro. And, I'll get mogged.
Yeah, get his name out your mouth. What's been your political journey? I'm curious to get to where you are now from jump. Might be a long story, but
yeah, just because I'm old, man. I was like
a really long ass story.
I come
Fall
from.
asleep.
Oh man, damn. Oh, yeah, it's time for a snooze.
I'm sleepy. I didn't sleep last night. No,
did you actually not this time? Based.
A couple hours. Yeah.
Yeah, you're pulling them all-nighter shifts. Respect.
It's not good.
My political journey's been fucking psychotic. I mean, I guess I started off as being conservative, but that was when I was like 16, 17, and I didn't know shit. I was a literal child. I consider people in their 20s, especially early 20s, to be like soup brains at best. You know what I mean? Obviously not a literal child, but the older I get, the harder it is to take it seriously. And like talking about like what I thought about politics up until I was like literally graduating college is gibberish. When I was in high school, I thought I was conservative. I was actually just irritated by do-nothing libs, I think, all the way back then, where it's just like, I'm a Democrat. And as a Democrat, I think that like your language and how you talk about people is the most important thing about your life. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I just think that like, cops are fucking assholes. I fucking hated cops growing up. It's really where my politics started. I got fucked up by cops. I was a shoplifting criminal. I joined the military, and the military was like nuts. I was not like, I don't know, I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not the person people think I was when I was in. Trust me, if I was guilty of any of the things that you guys thought I was, I'd fucking pill out. I would have done it a while ago. But getting out of the military kind of made me realize.
You've spoken about how you didn't kill kids.
No, Jesus
very
fucking
confidently.
Christ.
Sorry, just play. I've heard you say that loudly, so
yeah. No, I don't know
that's
why.
That's not a genuine.
I would have if like I had accidentally. I don't know. I might have actually. I've had like serious issues with like PTSD and stuff after I got out, and that's from just feeling bad about living after friends of mine had died. If I'd actually like legitimately, I'd be. Bye. You wouldn't be having this conversation with me. I'd be a long ago sentence with a story, the period on the end of it. But it taught me that people don't give a fuck about working class people at all. Like it's all for show. Like the whole like, you know, veterans are our heroes type stuff. It's nice. But like I brought this up when I was in college and I was, you know, angry young man. I was like, people say, you know, I'm your hero, you're my hero, but like y'all can tell me the entire starting lineup of the Cincinnati Bengals, but you can't tell me 12 veterans that died in your area code. And there's like 150 from here that fucking got cracked. You know what I mean? Like, do we really care? And it's like, no, we care that people are going to go and do it, but we don't care about why it's happening. We just care that it gets done because we kind of like know in a vague way that it's important, but then like we don't even check that. And realizing kind of how the strongest given political opinions of a lot of people around me were based on just checked out ideas of what the fuck was going on. It was like crushing. And then I started like, I was like, the conservative shit's fucking stupid. I entertain everything. But by that point, I'm like, you guys are fucking morons. Like none of these answers make sense. The taxation shit doesn't equate. The math doesn't add up to what you think is happening. And we're not getting jobs. We don't need this many fucking cops. The cops can't do their fucking jobs correctly. Like, yeah, we need something that's like a cop, but the ones that you're giving me fucking suck. They're dog shit. The rules that you want to go for are dog shit. Like you say you're talking about fucking working class people and all this stuff, but all gay marriage, like all your fucking attention's focused on this, but not like getting my dad a bigger paycheck so he can take care of my fucking my little siblings and shit. Like what in the fuck is this? And you start going left and left and left and left, and it's a ratchet. It's like a ratchet. I think it invariably you're drawn to like the natural conclusion that no matter how you feel about these sort of socio-political goals, this fucking, you know, gay marriage and trans rights and politically correct culture stuff, the thing is those are like the stupidest fucking wedge issues that exist. Like, you want money? Do you want money? Do you want the fucking roads to work? You want the planes to stay in the sky? Left, 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 left. It's the only way to organize everything, where the money that we spend is spent efficiently on things we all need and want. And then past that, that's where dignity lies. And like, that became the heart of my thing, I guess. My political mentality was this idea of dignity first for people. Because I don't like homeless people I don't like homeless people not being able to find a place to get a shower. I don't like the thought of like a mother of 3 not having a place to clean her clothes with her kids and not being able to find health care. I don't know who does, and there's nothing happening to fix that on the middle or the right. Libertarian from wherever that is, you think spiritually to the right, you guys aren't fixing that. There's women that are working 2 jobs and got fucking kids on their back, taking their kids to Arby's, and they don't have a place to wash their clothes. They don't have hot water tonight to get their kid a shower. They don't have the money to pay for their kid to take a photo for school or go on their ID and stuff. And this isn't being fixed. You know, and all of those things, if you add them, it makes my life easier, even if I'm a have relative to that woman. That's a hypothetical in my mind. And then your response to it from the right is like, well, we wish in one hand and shit in the other. It's like, what if I just beat your ass and take the controller and I play? Because I feel like you're just lying to me and you need to be gone because you're just standing in my way. And these libertarian types, you're just standing in my way. I don't even have a conversation with you. I just need to make it so you don't have any fucking position of authority in this conversation. And when we need to push to that, because I don't, there's no answers. There's not even a conversation. It's, Marjorie Taylor Greene going up on stage with like doctored photos and shit of a guy that we sent to a fucking concentration camp in another country, and people are like, I don't know if it's really Photoshop. Do we know what the definition of Photoshop is this day? Now, if I look back and I don't even give a fuck. We're permitting ourselves anywhere, just even center left now, these libs to be distracted completely by horse shit. You're like, well, I just want to know. I really want to get back to the good. No, just call her a dumb bitch. All right, it's dumb bitch fucking hour. Go, Marjorie, open your fucking suck, pour shit out into that microphone. When you're done, the fucking adults are going to go ahead and run the country. We just need to get past your votes. We need to get past you having any sort of authority. And I hope that we can do it in a way that's peaceful and respectful of life and safety of everybody. But like, we're hitting a fucking point where it's going to be like, we're all going to fucking die, man. Like, no more poison in the rivers. What the fuck? Can we stop talking about bullshit and focus on working people and working class issues and the dignity of human beings on this fucking earth? the ability of a kid to grow up with all of his fucking legs and fingers at least, and not have to pay for fucking bomblet fucking cluster bombs to blow up random shitholes and fuck over people that didn't even give a shit 5 days ago because somebody wants to like lower the cost of fucking oil transportation through the Sudan. I go, well, shut the fuck up. I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of these distracting conversations. I'm so fucking irritated by these people. I guess that's my political journey, is losing my fucking mind.
So it's kind of like
it's psychosis.
It's like more, I mean, class focused and economics focused. It sounds like, because you brought up something like trans rights and like, I guess, identity politics, and I share some of the apprehension about specifically in the context of Israel-Palestine, where a lot of the focus for the last 8 years has been on things that I bought into that ended up being immaterial, like, you know, language policing and microaggressions, and there's space to talk about those things. But currently, you're seeing how that is being weaponized. And I'm curious if those things cross your mind, or if it's more of a economics class, we get people basic necessities and we worry about that later, or if those things can happen in tandem. I know
it can happen. It's easy as fuck. Just be good to trans people. They're fucking people too. That's it. It's free. Just don't be a fucking cunt to trans people. It costs me nothing. It's dignity. Yeah, every worker deserves a shot, and they deserve dignity. Trans women, trans men, NBs, thembs, they're fucking workers. And I don't know enough about your struggle, and I'm sorry that I'm indelicate with my language, but trust me, if someone's trying to fuck with you, I'll beat the hell out of them with a lead pipe or something, you know? But you deserve dignity and you deserve respect like all the rest of these people. And these situations are not giving it. And it seems like the distraction I'm talking about isn't the like, so you want to not give that? No, I want them to have every fucking right that I have. And whatever need they need taken care of, so that they're not fucking trying to kill themselves or feeling horrible and walking around every day feeling like shit. I just fucking good. But this like idea that like, you know, I don't even know this, but Israel is the only place where you can be trans in the Middle East. If it wasn't for Israel, every gay person fucking in the vicinity of the Mediterranean would burst into fire instantaneously. Like, shut the fuck up with this guy. If you were gay in Iran right now, they'd be throwing you off a building. Like, shit. And then like you have to hear people.
It's always the roofs. It's always throwing off. That happened like one time or two times,
like
and then they're
ISIS. We would be doing that in America if the fucking right wing got a hold of it anyway. The people that are making it, they're like, I'm writing my fan fiction for the future for these people, but I'm trying to use it against you to justify Israel. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You're like half exhausted, and I'm way too fucking hyper right now. I'm all full of Ale 8.
So that means what are you drinking? Ale 8? What is that?
Dude, the original Kentucky drink, baby. Bottled right here. Sugar. It's actually caffeine free, so it's sugar ginger ale, but with like blackberry flavor.
Oh, nice. Sounds delicious. Yeah, I'm always interested in hearing where people get where they're at, because a lot of there's so much hypothetical leftism on the internet. I would put myself in that category of like, the lived experiences I've had do not coincide with any necessity to explore or any real grounded material necessity or material drivers towards these kinds of politics. But when you're talking about the military and your time in the military and seeing just seeing that firsthand, I think that's really important. And I don't know the right word to say, but it seems like it grounds you more firmly in beliefs because you experience them firsthand and you know that it's real, and you know there's no question as to like what needs to happen, or how not what needs to happen, but like, or not how it needs to happen, but what needs to happen, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think it goes to, you know, and if you're out there and you're like, I fucking hate the American military for any reason, go for it, dude. I don't mind. I believe that is your right. I don't care if you're an American or not. Hate us, that's fine. If you're in a legitimate conflict, take your shot. I wish you all the best. But the thing is really just like, you know, if you buy into the logic or the not the logic, but the propaganda of it all, it's like, yeah, people are dying for these things, right? And like people I know died for those things. And it's very serious. The gravity of that is like hauntingly intense. You know what I mean? To like know, like it's been almost 20 years now since my first deployment, and like I'm thinking of like the lives guys could have lived, but they got cracked, and some of them died maybe not giving a shit. Some of them died for a paycheck, but like people talk about it as though, you know, that guy died for your right to do this. That guy died for your right to do this. And when people say that lightly, it's, you know, it is what it is and it's your right. But for me, it's very, very intense. And I think about the other good people that died for their rights to do this and that sort of stuff, you know, Blair Mountain, fucking Black Panthers back in the day. People are out there trying to fucking scrap for this stuff. And it's not lightly that people give up their lives for these causes. And I think they need to be taken very fucking seriously. And it grounds you, yeah, but also, you know, I've got to meet the Iraqis. I didn't just like sit in a fucking drone or whatever the hell it is these Israelis are doing half the goddamn time. I talked to these people in mixed English with my interpreter, and I was just like, bro, what the fuck? This is stupid as shit. Like, y'all a bunch of fucking idiots like I grew up with, but you just fucking look different. You're just another asshole fucking breaking OSHA compliance to change your oil. You should not have a vehicle set up on those cinder blocks, sir, but I respect your swagger. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to get by, and like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing for y'all. Y'all want me to leave? They're like, I don't know. As long as you're giving us money, we don't give a shit, but you should probably go. Like, yeah, I guess we should go. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What a waste of fucking time. I remember it's just like, I was on post the day that fucking Saddam Hussein got hanged, and we were like, dude, we're about to fucking take heat. This is about to be the worst day ever. And nothing happened. There was another day for those people. Like, I don't give a fuck about the president. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go fucking die for the president. Like, if our president got like killed in a different country, like, I don't, fuck it. Fuck him. Joe Biden got hanged today. All right. I gotta go to work, dude. I got plywood to hang or drywall to hang. And I think people just need to talk to motherfuckers more. I think we need to bypass these language barriers any way that we can, and these stop letting these fucking goddamn liberal outlets, New York Times and CNN and fucking, you know, these high hoity-toity motherfuckers that they all went to Columbia and they all have sex with each other at weird fucking Mar-a-Lago parties and all this shit. Stop letting them be the only ones that tell you what the hell goes on over there, because that was my biggest thing for years is I have no fucking idea what's happening in Israel-Palestine, because as a journalist, I don't speak these languages. I don't speak Hebrew. I don't speak Arabic. I don't speak any regional tongue in there more than just like, you know, marhaba, inshallah. And like, that's pretty much fucking it. I can't double check this stuff. So someone comes to me like, yo, dude, Israel's the most moral army. It's like, whatever, man. That's a weird thing to say, but okay. You know, this happened, that happened. And I'm lost. And I think what you're doing, talking to that poet and with these Unreal people and building these bridges where it's a lot of people, it's harder to lie. It's harder to obfuscate and cheat and trick when there's a lot of conversations and a lot of people talking, because everyone can't always keep the same story. I think that's one of the best things about this, as building these international bridges outside of the watchful fucking eye of all these Ivy League Northeastern graduates who all happen to fucking know the most evil people on earth and have them over for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. The direct conversations have been, they feel very special and unique in comparison to how information is typically spread with, not like people don't podcast, but the people who I've had on don't really podcast. And when they're podcasting, it's usually them talking solo, or it's just making videos alone in a room. And so, I don't know. I have high hopes because of people like that I brought on, because of people like you that are able to talk about these issues in ways that are refreshing and also combative in a necessary way. I think that's like getting on call and yelling at Lonerbox being correct is, I love that. I'm not gonna do that. That guy's. I'm not debating anybody. All right.
I saw you in a debate with Vosh one time. That looked fun for you. That looked like a good time.
Oh yeah. You're right. Actually, shit, I forgot about. Yeah, I should go back into that. I should become a debate lawyer.
We're gonna get you on the heavy bag, the debate heavy bag. We're gonna get you as angry as you can get without saying a slur. Is the Vosh way?
Yeah. Yeah. You can train me off stream. I'll come to the dojo. Rocky music, yell at me.
Hell yeah.
I'll have to defend Israel somehow.
No, God, yeah. Fuck that. Jesus Christ.
As
not
practice.
Even as a joke. Not even as a joke. But yo, no, thanks for having me on, man. Am I cutting into your time? I know you got people coming all day, so I don't want to.
I got somebody at 5. We got time though. If there's anything that you want to go over, I'm trying to think if I had any other questions specifically. I guess one thing was like, are you working on any particular exposés or forays into this weird internet space right now?
Yeah, I don't want to. I have some stuff hip pocketed.
Keep it under wraps.
Yeah. I gotta
Sure.
dig it up and look into some shit. But my most interesting thing that's going on right now that I did even just a little bit of research is this whole fucking like denims H3 stuff. I don't know exactly where they stand in it. In denims, I hope you go all the way with this motherfucker. But it's just so there's something really weird with Ethan Klein about this whole deal, and like I feel like the guy is cracking up. Somebody said that like they think his like brain's dehydrated from like Ozempic or something. I don't know if that's a thing that happens, but he's in a rough state, and you know he
Seems like it.
He's sort of retracted, but like he can't. He's like you can see him physically just trying to say the same things again and again and again. And I think that there's a serious sea change coming. I say this on my stream all the time, but it would be new for your listeners. Would be the old internet is dead. It already has been dead for a while, but this like not to quote to name the devil, but Jim Medicare idea of the world where you're you don't engage in life ruination, lol suits are bad, whatever, blah 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 blah. Everybody stays anonymous, no doxing stuff. I think that's been over. And we're all playing by somebody else's rules at this point. And I think from now on, I think that the biggest value you're going to see in creators, especially when this fucking VTuber shit starts taking off, is going to be somebody that puts their face and their name out there and then stands 10 toes down on the statements that they make. And that's going to be a big thing. And then on top of that, I think that we're going to start seeing a deluge of legal action in these spaces as, especially as the powers that be are starting to get threatened. They are going to try to start bullying people. It's on us to say, maybe not necessarily defend every single person that gets attacked for some shit. And you don't have to talk about any of the stuff that you may be or may not be embroiled in. I won't put you in that position. But I think that kind of thing is going to be more common going forward. It's already, there's a lot of it. You know what I mean? Ryan Kavanaugh thing has been going on for a while, but the not Jake Weddle, Dog Pack 404, there was people talking about that was going to be a thing. That was a guy that did exposés on Mr. Beast. Obviously this Destiny thing that's going on between him and Pixie, who's the woman that he released nudes of and all this sort of stuff to, I think actually a groiper from what I heard, an underage groiper. And now we have Ethan Klein getting ready to try to do a series of lol suits against people. But when you're a media company engaging in that, you talk all the time. It's very difficult to be a large media company and then bully down and then try to do that. This is just a fundamental way of operating that I know from journalism, because you can open yourself up when people start realizing it. Because a lot of people don't realize that they can sue for anything, especially in America. We're a litigious society. And depending on where you are, you have a bigger chance of winning because it's state by state. If he doesn't check himself, he could open himself up to being like, anyone he talks about untoward, just being like, hey, I want a retraction on that. You said something, which by the way, if you've ever worked in journalism, you've gotten I get 10,000 of these things. I spelled Kleenex wrong, and the Kleenex people go, hey, that could be damaging to our brand for you to misspell Kleenex and not know that it's a brand name and not actually the tissue. I'm not even fucking kidding. Their lawyers will send you those things as a media company, and ask for a correction, ask for a retraction, and they won't necessarily try to destroy you, but those legal setups are part of that issue. The days of owning a lolcow, like they did back in the day, and maybe having some person to talk about for forever may be really, truly over. And if you don't, because there's other things to sue over outside of just like libel and defamation and slander and all this sort of stuff. But like harassment of somebody or engaging in harassment campaigns can be a big issue. You know what I mean? Attacking someone over and over again. And somebody with the size and especially the pocketbook of Ethan Klein, he keeps bragging about how much money he has. There's lawyers that are going to be out there that are going to be looking at him like a fucking settlement with you is probably going to be exactly $250,000 or $400,000, whichever the fucking insurance cutoff is for your basic settlement. And that's how much I'm going to want. And that's what I'm going to ask for if this guy says something again. Go ahead, yeah, do two more. Because I want 40% of that. I want 40% of that. They'll be trying to fuck with us, obviously small people, to shut us up. All you got to do is keep talking or just die. You're Zerg rushing, all right? You're a socialist. Just get fucking obliterated. Think of it as Stalingrad. Just pick up the ammo and keep going. All right. But like at the top, they have a lot to lose because once they don't have money, they don't have shit. The only reason people don't think of and talk about Ethan Klein as a lolcow in centrist circles is because he's rich, and that's it. He's rich and currently politically aligned with some shit, but he's a guy that has bugged out eyes. He looks like he's on fucking methamphetamine. He's got a Jack Skellington body all of a sudden. He's all fucking like turned up. He's fucking funny as shit to make upset. And like once upon a time, we'd have fucking gone after that, and that spirit is still there. And the reason that people aren't jumping on it harder is because right now there's money in being on his side, even though he's a fucking absolute clown show. But like he's opened, and other people like him, Mudahart opened the door, man. Your next little fucking pedo hunt expose better not be too fucking, it better not miss. You better start fucking talking to lawyers and shit. You goofities putting up that big ugly photograph of Keffels. I don't know how much reputational harm might that have caused. What kind of issues are that? That's kind of like fucking mean. Is that actually covered? And you don't know. And the thing is the more you talk, every time you have a conversation about somebody, that is a possible legal action that could be pursued. And now that these dipshits have opened that up, every time they talk about somebody, they have a gigantic dragon hoard of cash that any lawyer will go like, oh man, okay, so we're going to tell him to say sorry because I think I can fuck with him. He's in, how many different does he have going? 16? Fuck. I think I could get 100K out of this for us. That's 60 for you and 40 for me. What do you want to sign on the dotted line there? Fucking Wings of Redemption, whatever the fuck your name is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the thing about the difference between him and I guess you fucking up the Kleenex name is that he's not going to retract, except in this case of Denims, which was surprising. I don't even know if it is considered a full retraction, but it was. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how the lawyer I worked with wrote, the potential retraction if I were to want to do that with the video I made. It was like, however you said it was, I was like, oh, that's exactly what they told me to say. So clearly it came from Brombar Nassim or whatever, but yeah, I don't know.
He was raw reading that off the laptop. I've seen that before. Now I always say apologize unironically. If somebody's like goes like you fucking actually da 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 da, and it's not something we're standing on. Like, okay, man. I don't think that your head is actually the size of a tractor trailer. I was goofing. I'm sorry for that. I think that you have a normal size for a gigantic headed person head. You know what I mean? Like you can retract. And that's the thing about these like pride games and these fucking those work when you're anonymous. They work when you're a nobody or a rich fuck with free time. But like now the lawyers are here and the lawyers smell blood. They always do. The lawyers fucking love a lawsuit because that's how they get their money. You know what I mean? It's like telling a dog not to dig. They'll go and try to figure shit out. I would not be remotely surprised to find out that there's lawyers double checking with people that have talked, that Ethan Klein has talked about, and sending them emails like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but Ethan Klein said this in a video about you on, December 8th, 2018. And he was extremely condescending. It seems that after this happened, your YouTube channel got much, much smaller. Do you think that this conversation was, intentionally to harm you? Do you think that he was truthful? And do you think that real harm was caused? They might be on a statute of letters. I'm not the lawyer, but people will fucking do that shit. They will actively go out there and they will try to fucking trailblaze into the money pits. They're like that for good or bad. And they cost time and money to deal with. And I can't feel pity for you, and you're not going to get my fucking spiritual support if you're the one that fucking opens the door in order to try to fucking bully somebody down with legal shit. This is bog standard stuff that used to happen in the journalism industry all the time. One of the assholes from fucking West Virginia. I think he's the fucking governor now. He killed a bunch of people in a mine and then would just slap suit motherfuckers who said this mine implosion killed people. And then he would just be like, yeah, it's a slap suit. I'll take the fine. I just wanted to literally cost you $10,000 in legal fees, every time that you fucking brought it up. And that's the door you've opened. So it's incumbent on us. If you want to fight in that field, right? People on our side should do the research and make it as inhospitable for you to fucking take your little steed right out on Ela into the thick of it with your lance. AB, and try to fucking scrap with people. You know what I mean? You got to make it hostile. You got to find, this is my thing. We need to find every single area where these people that are fighting against us, these fucking conservatives and genocidal, sociopathic fucking assholes, everywhere that they feel comfortable, that's not our spaces, you know. Obviously, they're not going to be on Oler Naughty. They're not going to be, you know, hanging out with FD Signifier or some shit. They're going to be in nasty little fucking drama circles. They're going to be hanging out in these fucking VTuber cafes and shit. You got to get into those spaces and make it fucking miserable for them to exist in them. You don't have to hurt anybody. You don't even have to harass anybody. Just be in there and be shitty as fuck. Just go and fart in their elevator. Fuck yeah. We're going all the way to the 16th floor with this one, Kirsch. Get fucked. You know what I mean? And get them to shut the door again.
Yeah, like that opening up the realm of YouTuber lawsuits will create like some kind of galvanizing effect where if this thing is attempted and it doesn't work out for Ethan, then countersuits happen, and then we realize to what extent we're able to even try to do those, and if it works, then they'll know that maybe trying that isn't a good idea, or if it doesn't work, then you know they can just keep suing again until they are bankrupt from, you know, the Ryan Kavanaughs, if that happens, whatever. I guess it'll just continue to play out. I don't know.
It's very difficult to give a predictive thing. You'd have to be a law historian. This is, people get their Juris Doctorate, you know, for stuff like this. But I can say, just having written about stuff and looked up things, essentially laws exist once there's a purpose for them. And the YouTube arena has been lawless for really long, especially considering how much money's in it. And when I say YouTube, I really mean online internet creation. TikTok, YouTube, all this stuff. And you've seen, you know, these dundering fucking gray hairs try to have conversations about the legality of TikTok and all this stuff. And they are going to die. And they are going to be replaced by people who are younger and younger. And whether they're on our side or not, more familiar with these systems. And once that happens, these laws will come. There will be legislation added to it. It's just going to be like when there were smartphones and stuff and they weren't quite like all similar. You're like, what the fuck? Oh, remember when phones all looked completely, well, you might not actually, but they all used to look a lot different. And then regulations caught up and best practices caught up, and people would get sued for this or that, or this function would cause an issue. And then once the lawyers found out that there was money there, you can't predict where it's going to go. But I will tell you, we don't have a lot of precedent-setting court cases in the YouTube arena, right? And there's a lot of things that are legal or unfettered by law in the online information arena that are completely closed up in the FCC. Vosh's tax folder instance would have been on a national television show half his size, career ruining, and also would have gotten him a massive fine from the FCC for exposing people to pornography. It's actually a crime. He committed a crime even doing it accidentally. But because the law enforcement bodies, the attorneys general, all the way down to, you know, enforcement individuals, we don't have someone. Is that your cat? I heard that. Was that your cat? Oh, sorry.
The noise?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. My bad.
Oh, no, No. She's over here. She's about to turn the power button. You got a cat?
No, I have a rabbit. Yeah, he's around.
Oh, rabbit.
I can't get him.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Bunny and a rabbit.
Oh, nothing. That's just the same.
Oh, it's just different names?
Same names,
yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry, but yeah, once people start getting, you know, individuals my age in charge of these organizations and stuff, they're going to go like, yeah, I'm going to make my nut making this thing illegal. Or this irritates me. It's always been my bugbear. Now I'm in charge of this. I'm going to vote for this thing to happen. I'm going to vote for that thing to happen, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then you'll start seeing legal precedents and all that sort of stuff, you know, kind of come to bear. If you think about like the tobacco industry went around for a long time. And then all of a sudden people are like, hey, did you know this shit kills you? And it took 20 or 30 years and it became this gigantic deluge of lawsuits and litigation and new laws and people arguing about it for decades to come. And I think that's getting ready to hit this sphere like crazy. I think the adpocalypse is the first kind of vibe that you could be like, okay, it's gonna be like that. Like when the adpocalypse hit and all of a sudden you're like, oh, all of these people's careers are gone. Those individuals that used to make these, like, you know, Frozen Elsa, Spider-Man pooped in a microwave videos that were a thing, those vanished. Those prank videos that were like playing fast and loose with assault, those vanished. And
mommy makeout day.
Yeah. Don't fucking remind me.
Celebrate it every year.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see a lot more stuff like that, and cause there's already politically savvy individuals here taking advantage of this open system in order to do stuff the FEC wouldn't normally let you do, or that the FEC doesn't know to look for here, the Federal Election Commission in America. I think as we progress into a more adult stage, a real mature stage in these platforms and stuff, you're going to see all sorts of shit break loose, and it is going to be the Wild West is going to come to an end, and it's just going to be fucking El Paso, you know what I mean? It's going to be Phoenix. Sorry, that's like a true downer. It's not even like doomerism, it's just like consumerism. It's going to be a sad gray corporate organosphere spreading out around us.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess the last question I had is like, what do you have?
Gonna end this one now.
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
We can keep going. You can keep going. I'm just, my brain is like completely failing to come up with answers. I'll just comment on your live chat when something comes up.
This will be good. This is a good last question time because I gotta hit the head anyway.
Yeah. In the realm of politics online, is there any silver lining or any sort of positive hope for the future about what's happening on here? I know you said you don't do predictions, and yeah, we probably shouldn't do predictions, but does anything stick out to you in that regard?
Yeah, the kids are all right. I think that's what it is. People like to shit on younger generations and stuff, and they deserve it because fuck you for being young as I age into my eye wrinkles. But
my fault, Unc.
The speed at which people progress through their dumb fuck years is getting very, very high. I've noticed that, like, you know, with the red pill stuff, I think I heard you talking to, I can't remember who you were talking to, Ugopnik, I think, about that stuff. You know, obviously it was an issue, but if you think about it, like, those kids blasted through it. When you think about people that were my age that were, like, you know, anti-Muslim because of 9/11, that shit lasted a while. And then you go back 2 or 3 generations, people wouldn't get rid of anything ever at all. They got stuck in their ways, and they would be whatever politics they were handed at 18 into their 90s, you know what I mean? And never change. And I think it's faster and faster because people are just like, it's uncouth, man. It's weird. Like, I can tell that this shit's not good for me. You know, it's hard for you to make me into a white supremacist fascist when I'm fucking half Latino and also gay. It's really hard for you to fucking tell me that, like, working class people just should work harder when I'm working class and I work hard. It's really difficult for you to tell me that this and this and this and that and this and that when I can just see the reality of it. You know, I don't have to hear about trans people from fucking Tucker Carlson. I can go talk to a trans person. I can see trans people talking about their issues, a lot of them on TikTok, and get a good fucking feel for how these people actually think through their issues, you know, and people they're speeding through it. We're speed running the ignorance of youth in a way we haven't seen before. And this wouldn't be possible 10 years ago. You know what I mean? You know, fucking 2015, fucking mid Gamergate era. I mean, I guess you had like the H-bomber guy thing maybe back then. And that was a sort of a deal, but like, really concerted effort, people raising money for a real cause, and actually like, hey, this is going to be something when we wake up in the morning, all of us are still doing it. Now, we're not just showing up for the fucking, for the presentation, and then, you know, tomorrow I'm going to figure out something else to do. And I think all of the young people that are following in our stead here, they're figuring it out, and they're figuring it out quick, and they're not letting the fucking world bullshit them the way that people my age did when we were that young. And hopefully that trend continues. And 20 or 30 years from now, if the fucking oceans haven't drowned all of us, then we'll just have natural leftism appearing everywhere or something. I have no idea. Hopefully an end to capitalism in my lifetime. That's not a fucking, you know, old school late 90s apocalypse movie.
Explosions, yeah. No, well said, man. That feels good to hear, especially as I am falling asleep. It's like a sweet dream. Do you want to plug any stuff, like your? I guess I can just drop your channel in the chat.
Oh yeah, please. I have a video essay channel. I think this will be the only thing. Any of you lefty reactos, Hassan, I give you permission for this one. I made a documentary sort of thing called Slop Mafia. That's on my essay side Tyler channel. You can watch it. It goes into what was
45 minutes of it. It's great. Sorry,
it's very fucking long. But it goes into the background of what really was going on during the Destiny leaks that actually started back in November with the Pixie thing and all these other pictures, and covers a lot of stuff that wasn't covered and things that kind of feel like they were covered up, and gets into a little bit of the personalities and stuff that were around it. And I think it paints a pretty decent picture of how some of these drama channels and drama adjacent channels try to manipulate the truth in their favor, and how their incompetence at times can cover up for somebody like Destiny. So check it out. Check it out. That would be the one thing I plug.
Last thing I'm wanting to see. They're saying somebody said you drew a maid photo of me in the maid costume.
Yeah.
They want to see it.
Let me. Okay.
I want to see it.
I'll send it.
If it's appropriate.
I don't know how to put my screen up.
You can send it on Discord if you want.
Yeah. Let me send it to you on Discord.
We might need to stay and debate for a little bit.
Debate on
about your depiction of my
on the little guy. Okay, give me. Where the hell did that go? Desktop. Stream. Sorry, I'm like doodling all the time now. There we go.
You're sketching on stream?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, that's fire. I look awesome. Hold on.
That was during the Hassan empanada debate. You were like literally falling asleep, and I thought it was very funny. So
Sleepy cat. I'm showing the chat right now. I gotta scroll down because you got the shoulder, you got the deltoid definition pretty good.
Shout out, fellow gym bros.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate you coming on.
No problem. Yeah, if you ever want to talk about anything, hit me up. Shout out to the Noah Samsen crew. Shout out Unra. I hope we raised money with me shit talking.
Yeah, how much did we raise? Anybody chat? Like probably, is it 5K? Maybe 6K, 7K while you're here.
Amount.
So
I'll take that. Don't tell me it's lower. Just let my ego rest on it. Okay. Thanks so much, man. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Take it easy.
See ya.
Hope you enjoyed your time on the West Side.